This is a podcast from the Angel News Network with author Joel Anastasi interviewing Ascended Master St Germain as channeled by Phillip Elton Collins.
Greetings, beloved humans. This is Ascended Master St Germain of the Company of the Galactic Alliance, asking you, during your 250 years, what have you learned, dear ones? Our intention of the soul plan, the mission of the United States, being a beacon of light for the world, is not being met. Having multiple military bases throughout the planet in order to control other nations is not the purpose of your nation, dear ones. Telling others how to be and do is not your mission. To lead by example of a beacon of light is your purpose. As a result of the energies coming into your plane, you're being forced by other nations to return to your true purpose of equality, harmony, and balance. Even nations who do not have your purpose are assisting you during this shift. Your current government is revealing all that needs to be healed within yourselves and your nation to be truly that beacon of light for the world. It is taking the brink of extinction for you to finally realize that the need for you to be that purpose is essential. You're living in a dramatic time of revelation and change, dear ones. It is time through the activation of your divine spiritual soul plan, your spiritual DNA in effect, to return to your true purpose. This requires the healing of self first and foremost. And you have been given the tools to do this. And now it is the time for you to choose to apply these tools of life mastery through deep examination of self. This is the teachings of our brother, Archangel Michael. The reason the Founding Fathers wanted a public school system, dear ones, was because they knew an educated citizenship was the only way to ensure and preserve a democracy for the people, by the people. Studying history is the best way not to repeat it. You need a citizenship that knows the foundation of your country, to trust and apply it. Right now you have many willing to do otherwise, other than the foundation of your nation, because they do not know how to achieve it. If you elect these without common good foundations with money as their God, are continuing to rule your world because they have no foundation of the true purpose of your nation nor care about that. You're also in the process of knowing what often other factors have to allow you to see the truth. The details of that recently have been revealed within the endeavor I have given to you through this endeavor through Archangel Uriel. He has given a foundation of the structure through a pyramid geometric of the hidden forces, sometimes not so hidden, that are controlling your world. I, who was instrumental in the creation and foundation of the United States, also refer this audience to my document, The Refounding of America and Divine Discussions, that gives a broader discussion of what is being briefly discussed here. I also refer you to our previous teachings on why and how of the teachings of the creation of the parallel earth and that pyramid. It is a challenge for humanity to remember all of the divine purpose. We realize that. There's no right or wrong, dear ones. No good or bad. It's how you are choosing to learn. So the question is, what have you learned through the choices you have made as an individual and a nation over these 250 years? Currently, one of the most important events in your nation and the world, and I'm contacting with the Galactic Federation as I say this, is taking place, and it is revealed of the space object you call AI Atlas. This is a space probe from the Galactic Alliance, which is evaluating humanity's progress and attempting to prevent you from destroying yourselves. This is a preparation for you to become a part of the cosmic community. Right now, you're failing that test. But remember, you have never been alone, and you have the support of advanced civilizations and the higher realms all behind you, dear ones. At the same time, we ask that you be prepared to take UFO events to attempt to control you. There will be false UFO events attempting to control you, dear ones. They will attempt to control you by telling you the non-truth that you are not alone. Be aware of that. Also, be aware of the creation of the AI data centers being built all around your nation. While they advance your abilities, they also include surveillance techniques. Know, dear one, all that is happening is a part of you descending into a higher frequency of existence, the ascension of humanity along with the planet herself, and the creation of a new parallel Earth. Dear one, let us allow the primary purpose of this communication to answer your questions and concerns regarding your current events. Allow the interviewer in this endeavor to serve as a proxy for you all. How may we help you further, dear ones?
St. Germain, thank you for joining us on this commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America.
Yes, it has been quite a journey, dear one.
It has been quite a journey, and you've asked 2 times in your introduction, what have you learned? And that's such a good question, isn't it? I know you've touched on so many important issues with your introduction, but I think it's really important for us to go back to some of the basics here. You referred to the publication of our book in 2019, The Founding of America, and in that you revealed that you, among other higher realms, inspired the founding of the United States. Can you tell our audience what you mean by you inspired the founding of the United States, and how did you do that?
Say that again, dear one.
What did you mean when you said that you inspired the founding of the United States? How did you inspire the founding of the United States?
It was a cosmic intention that, as many of you know, 12 star systems would come together to succeed and create a planet. And it will bring the intention and the consciousness of those 12 star systems into what has become planet Earth. To teach being and doing love, the building block of all that there is. It was through that intention of the original Galactic Federation, which has become slightly corrupted, that we're now relying on a parallel organization called the Galactic Alliance to continue the true purpose of this planet. And the nation of the United States brought all of the history of your endeavor to imply these 12 star systems, often unsuccessfully, into what has become the United States of America. You are learning through what is happening now that democracy is not a spectator sport. Your current governmental regime is teaching that lesson. That democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires the diligence, protection, and participation of all of you, dear ones. Does that help you?
Yeah, in terms of the background, but what I was more specifically asking, did you work with the Founding Fathers? Did you inspire them?
Absolutely. In their dream state, in their meditation state, the documents that are now the Founding Father Papers, or what are known as the Founding Father Papers, largely came through me sending them to them. As they evaluated the history of other nations and other governments and other monarchs, I assisted them in taking a higher frequency reflection within those documents.
And what was the mission of the country you were looking to establish? What was the purpose? What did you want the founding of America to accomplish in the evolution of human consciousness?
to be equality, harmony, and balance, and to reflect the building block of all that there is, which is love, was the intention.
Okay, now it's 250 years later, and although you implied what I'm about to ask in your introduction, I'm going to ask it anyway, just for clarification for our listeners. So, what's your assessment of how well we have fulfilled that mission?
Ascension and progress within the 3D frequency, the dense 3D frequency, is not always a straight line forward. It goes back and forth, but every time it goes back, it proceeds further in the forward. What you're being challenged with now is to really study and apply the principles within these papers and what they actually mean, and to once and for all fully execute them, and not allowing the hidden forces which have been revealed in Archangel Uriel's message recently to continue to control the world, as control and monetary power is their aim. All that is hidden needs to become visible. Not a conspiracy theory, but to know that these forces are in place, and to know who they are and what they are, and by knowing it, you will uncover them through your life. That will allow the true intention of this nation to come forward, not to militarily control and dictate with military bases all over the planet, but to, through example and the frequency of your love vibration, to allow that to be the messenger, not bullets and not bombs. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. I'm going to address the issue of the hidden forces in a minute, but you referred to the publication of our book in 2019, The Refounding of America. And in that book, you said that the United States was not fulfilling its mission, that the citizens were not participating and valuing their democracy. Half the population didn't even vote. And you said that the role of Trump, who you do refer to as a divine soul, not as a villain, but that Trump was going to threaten our democracy, and that in an attempt to rekindle the energy that founded America in the first place. And he certainly has been threatening our democracy. What would you say about the role he's been playing in both of the administrations he has created?
He is revealing to the citizens of the United States who are awake and conscious that this is not the path that you intend, and to honor the checks and balances that your founding fathers set up is the way to control someone who does not have that mission in place. And that is what he is teaching the citizenship that want to pay attention. But on a personal level, for this divine soul, he is in the process of healing his relationship largely with mother and dad, as many of you are, which you have studied through life mastery and the relationship with self. And he is doing it on a public stage, which allows a form of humiliation and reveal that would not otherwise be there. So on some level, this divine soul has chosen for his healing, the revelation of who he is, to become public display in your vernacular. Through this will expedite his healing process.
I guess it's not clear to me how what's going on with Trump right now is a healing process. How is what he's experiencing healing the wounds that you've just discussed?
By seeing people's reactions and involvement with him, and how this affects him emotionally and mentally, and the deterioration of his body physically as a result of those examples. He is in process with all of that, as you all are, as you have learned through Archangel Michael, that process of the deep examination of the self. It is causing him to look at unhealed aspects of himself as a result of others' reaction and responses to him in a deeper, more fully way, dear one.
Well, that's really interesting. Synchronistically, today is his 80th birthday. And you once said in our conversations in the past several years that the women of the world, the feminine energy, was going to be a major adversary that is going to put a brake on what he's doing. And the Women's March has porta potties all over Washington, D.C. with the headline, "Dump on Trump." And it's kind of interesting. You said that he would be experiencing a kind of blowback as part of his healing. I think that's one of the pieces of evidence of what you just said, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the hardest thing to remember in the density of the 3D realm as you experience its consequences for this divine soul's behavior, which is harming many people. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad in a cosmic sense. It's all simply a vehicle of how you as humans are choosing to learn in order to make a better choice in the future as a result of current. Does that help you?
Yeah, you just stated something that I had a lot of trouble with, the idea that there is no right or wrong. And I've come to really understand that I think what you're saying is that in a way it's just a process of learning. It's and some of the challenges we face we may see as wrong. And I thought of it a little bit like in a curriculum where I might hate calculus and algebra and find it difficult and not like it, but that doesn't make it wrong. It's simply something, a learning device. And is that in any way sort of a parallel to what you're saying?
Just see it as a learning tool. And I know that is difficult and challenging in the 3D. But set aside the emotions that are creating thoughts of what is happening and the foundation that all is in divine order and that you all end up in an ascended higher frequency of existence, which is your destiny, which is the soul plan of each individual as well as the nation, you'll begin to see that all of this are simply tools to allow you to make another choice through your free will and freedom of choice. It is as simple and as complicated in your mind as that, dear ones.
Well, let's bring it back to what's going on in our country. This is the 250th anniversary, and one of the parallels that I find is useful, the premier of Hungary, Viktor Orban, was a guest frequently in the White House, and many people see what he did in Hungary, what Orban did in Hungary, as a role model for what Trump has been doing since he took over. Orban didn't take over the country with tanks. He took it over by capturing the courts, cowering and capturing the media, the universities, the scientific community, rewriting election laws, getting rid of the civil service and the institutions, firing the watchdogs, punishing enemies, all that kind of thing. That's exactly what Trump has been doing with our own country. Let's focus on that for just a minute in terms of how that reflects the purity of our democracy.
What's happening as a result of that behavior is there is beginning a cry of check and balance within your judicial system to stop that behavior. Sometimes the best way to learn something in being human is to have it taken away from you. So if those elements or programs to support people who need the support are temporarily, and they are temporarily being taken away, because in time they will be reinstituted under another regime as the people wake up who have supported this individual and realize they'd like to make another choice. Your country is in the process of being and doing that now, dear ones, and that is the most encouraging thing that we can offer you. But on a positive note, let us also reflect some of the attempted good things that the United States of America has attempted to do over the last 250 years. There are documents that attempt to give equality, harmony, and balance, which is the basis of the Founding Father Papers, to others, as those have attempted to be even stripped away in your current events. But people are beginning to realize and wake up, and a stronger voice to learn the foundation of the United States and to begin to support it more fully by having it potentially taken away from you. Just perhaps this regime is exactly what America, the United States of America, needed. And it is ironic that a small nation in the Middle East is challenging a country with so-called civil rights when they have so little themselves. But at the same time, out of that ancient civilization, which you've known as Persia, currently known as Iran, these individuals are shedding a light and an awareness and information about your current regime, which allow you to make another choice in the near future, dear ones. It is actually causing what needs to happen. Do you understand, dear one?
Yeah, I'm thinking about what needs to happen, and I don't want to get too much into the details, but you inspired the creation of the three branches of our government as a check on power, because obviously when we found the democracy of the United States, we were taking power away from the idea of one man in charge like a king or an emperor and putting the power in the people. And to keep it that way, you created three branches of government as a check on power: the presidency, Congress, and the courts. I'm just curious, because we've gone astray here. What do you have any recommendations about how well that check on balance is functioning, and any obvious?
Let's talk about why things have gone astray.
Yeah, let's.
The Founding Fathers never anticipated that all three branches could be corrupted simultaneously. So if you so choose as a nation, here's my challenge to you, what has helped found this nation. Amend these documents to ensure what is currently taking place never happens again. The Founding Father Papers were never to be an end-all and a be-all. They were meant to amalgamate and expand and grow along with your nation. The abilities that you have in science and transportation and communication and warfare at this time were not that advanced when we were putting together the country initially. Now the hidden powers that are in place, which have been revealed to you, those who wish to study that podcast, are now being challenged in a more forthright way through having become more powerful than ever before as a result of how you advanced. To advance technologically and monetarily does not mean you spiritually or consciously advance. And there are civilizations out in the universe like that. One of the reasons we are connected with the Galactic Alliance at this time rather than the Federation is because the Federation is being influenced by civilizations that are much more advanced than humanity, but have not spiritually and consciously advanced. That can take place. And you want to be sure, if you so choose through your free choice and will, that the United States does not become one of the latter, that you become the former of an advanced civilization that's spiritually and consciously advanced, not just technologically. That's why I caution you with the use of what you call artificial intelligence, which is a misnomer. You can't have intelligence without consciousness. But it is a form of technology that can replace many human beings and also surveil you in a way unlike ever before. Like so many of the tools that you have discovered and been given to you by other advanced civilizations on your planet and from outside your planet, you've taken technology such as nuclear power and AI power and often misused it rather than for human good. So the challenge is, as you advance, as many civilizations in the cosmos have done, you have a choice to have it be for common good, to have it be for the advancement of creation, or otherwise. So the question to ask yourselves as a nation, what do you want to become in the next 250 years when you're 500 years old? What do you see then? What picture do you wish to create? Our challenge to you is to fall back, if you so choose, on the founding papers of the United States of America and begin to fully know them and apply them here once. Does that help you?
Well, let's get back. You've mentioned many times the hidden forces that are keeping us from fulfilling that mission. I wanted to ask you, are these hidden forces connected with the oligarchs that seem to be controlling our country? I was reading just yesterday that 20 individuals, multi-billionaires, hold the greatest percentage of total national wealth that we have ever seen. We've never seen that concentration of wealth. Is that part of the hidden forces you're talking about?
You just had the creation of your first trillionaire. Are you aware of that, dear one?
Yes, I am, Mr. Musk.
Correct. So the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you wish to call it, at the top of that pyramid, are controlling the individuals you just described. Does that help you?
Well, we're going to be facing midterm elections. At the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the people. How do things look for the elections in the fall?
Be vigilant, show up, support your local communities, support your local candidates, be prepared that elections can be manipulated as they were in the past, that electronic machines can be manipulated from outside the current environment, and that perhaps happened at your last election, and it could happen again. So be vigilant as to how that is happening, and show up en masse as is happening today in your No Kings rallies throughout the United States and all over the planet, that you have the power of the people, for the people, by the people, and begin to see the power of that. There are more of you, dear ones, than there are of them. And by revealing them and uncovering them, you shine the light on them, which dissolves them. They depend upon living in secrecy.
Well, you created a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and it's up to the people now.
The bottom of that pyramid, which is presented to you by Archangel Uriel, the largest base of that pyramid that supports all of the levels above it, which have been presented to you, are the people. You're stronger, there are more of you, and when you rise up en masse, there is no way you cannot affect change for the common good.
We saw that in Hungary. That's exactly what happened when they threw off the controls of Orban.
Exactly. Do not underestimate your individual, thus collective power. See yourself as the foundation and the basis of that pyramid of control. The higher you get in that pyramid, the narrower it gets, the smaller number of people that are involved, even though their monetary wealth may be greater than the bottom of the pyramid, you still have more power than all of that at the tip of that pyramid, dear ones.
St. Germain, I mentioned that today was Donald Trump's birthday. Is there any message you would offer Mr. Trump?
Yes. Heal. You still have an opportunity to reveal the healed aspect of yourself to the world. There's part of this individual who regrets having done what he has done, that he could have remained in secrecy to his business endeavors, and less profile would have been projected upon him. As a result of the choices he's made, and his life and his actions are under microscopic examination, not all of them, but many of them. It has caused a form of examination that he was not able to do himself, that had been sort of forced upon him in your vernacular. Through this process, we encourage him to heal and to say to him, it is not too late to do the right thing.
In your earlier comments, you made a connection between the healing process that he is experiencing and the healing process that the American electorate is experiencing. Can you make that connection for us more clearly?
It's all one and the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
As he heals, he mirrors out to the collective citizenship, which are also in the process of waking up and healing. In some ways, even though many have been harmed, his life has been a sacrifice to remind the citizenry of the United States that this is precious, that you can't sit and just observe it. You need to participate in it and protect it and to nurture it, that it is something precious. The forces of the 3D dense humanity often try to negate and to destroy. It is one of the major reasons that a parallel new Earth adjacent to the old dense Earth is in the process of energetically being created to give humanity a choice through their awakening and conscious. What do you choose? The founding father papers of the United States of America can also be a template for the new Earth, for the beacon of light. Does that help you, dear one?
St. Germain, you've said so many beautiful, healing, wonderful things. If you were going to send a birthday card to America, is there a simple statement you would make to wish us a happy birthday?
You are loved. You are loved beyond your comprehension through current events. You came from love. You are loved. And the whole cosmos surrounds you on this 250th anniversary and appreciates and honors each and every one of you who have incarnated at these challenging times, present and past, and often have sacrificed your lives, sacrificed intentions for the good of the common man. I honor you. I love you.
Thank you, St. Germain, for this wonderful discussion.
You are welcome, dear ones. Happy birthday, America.